Hello everybody, this is Alchemist 2 again, and this time I'm going to be doing 4 different DVD reviews all at once. The first one is called Walking the Bible, and the book itself is by Bruce Feiler, and this is about the first 4 books of the Bible, 5 books of the Bible: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, uh, Numbers, Deuteronomy. That's the Pentateuch. And I personally thought this was just fascinating and exceptional and well done. And they interview a lot of the people of the different areas, the Bedouins, just the people that have been told these stories, and they actually live the stories. And it's I think it's very um, inspirational to see their stories and the way they live, and it's very insightful as well. And I just think it helps uh, give a different perspective on the stories themselves, so for different faiths. And I'm hoping that someday that I can walk the Bible like Bruce did, and God willing, I will. That one I definitely give 4 stars, 2 thumbs way up. And if you're interested in that sort of thing, especially if you're in a Jewish history, the Jewish Judaic background of Christianity, and the different faiths that it covers. It doesn't only just cover Judaism; it covers Christianity and Islam, as well as probably some of the Greek Orthodox beliefs. So it's all encompassing if you think about it. It's just faith is so important. I myself think that religion and dogma are the things that tie us down, and faith is the one thing that ties us together as well as our humanity, but that goes without saying. Um, Now, the next DVD is rather dated. It's about the Titanic, and this was done in the 80s. And I love National Geographic, don't get me wrong, but I only give this one 3 stars because it doesn't really give any human part of the story. It gives you some background on who was aboard the Titanic, and the actual warnings and premonitions that people had at the time. And yeah, I'm fascinated by that. I love history, don't get me wrong, I'm a history buff, but it's just that it's so dated, and the technology then compared to the technology we have now. And if you've seen Ghosts of the Abyss, which I think is absolutely superb with James Cameron, he actually went on the voyage with the submersibles, and they took 2 bots in there to look at the wreck, and it's just absolutely breathtaking, and it just gives me shivers and just makes you remember how tragic the whole event really was. But I don't really care very much for this version. It left me kind of cold, and I felt it was kind of sterile. Um, so I give that one only 3 stars. Um, this next one here, I absolutely love. It's the complete story of the Titanic, and there are 2 DVDs in here, and one is narrated by actor David McCullum, as a lot of people may be familiar with him as playing Dr. Mallard uh, on NCIS, and he is a consummate actor, and he narrates this just exceptionally, and just his human tone to the whole tragedy of the Titanic, and the stories behind it are just they're just so engrossing, and it just makes me love it all the more, and just feel sad about it all the more. Um, Now, the second part is more about the films that were made. Actually, what was interesting to me, being a movie buff, is the first were known as talkies. Well, they were black and white before sound was ever added to it. But the first talkie was actually about the Titanic, strangely enough. So I thought, that's interesting. And there are so many different aspects that just connect the Titanic to a lot of other historical um, eras that I just love, like the Depression and the Great War. That's World War I, and World War II, my favorite, and the Vietnam era and the 60s, and now up to they go up into 2000. Now I don't get me wrong, but I'm not really sure if Titanic 2000 was ever done. If anybody is a real Titanic history buff, if they can give me some information about Titanic 2000, I would be indebted to them if they could let me know if it was ever completed or not. Now the last one is another one I give 4 stars. Besides that one, uh, it's about the Hamburg cell, 9/11, by the History Channel, and everything that the History Channel does is spectacular. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I didn't know anything about this. I was, as like I said in my earlier review of the two 9/11 DVDs that I covered, I was at college at the time, and when I had heard about the attacks, I knew it was an attack because it couldn't have been anything else. But at the time, I was just completely numb, and I didn't even cry about it. I didn't cry until I saw the film World Trade Center, which a lot of people, yeah, they had mixed reviews. But I thought personally that the film was remarkably done, and it was just very heart wrenching and but inspiring at the same time because it paled in comparison. It was a stark contrast as to how many lives were actually lost that day. But that aside, um, if you are interested in what actually happened and how these individuals just slipped past the radar and why we're so on edge now compared to when we were then, it's sort of a hindsight is 2020 sort of thing. I would definitely recommend this DVD. Um, it's very interesting, and it's just riveting. You can't you can't stop watching it, and you just think, why did this happen? Well, you can't really go too much into depth about that. I mean, past is past, and we remember still, and that's one lesson that can be taken both from. It's an interesting parallel. I never thought of this before, but the Titanic and 9/11 have an interesting connectivity to them because both were horrible tragedies and both can be learned from. And I hope that a lot of people take that with them and when they see these DVDs. And that's it for today. So stay tuned for my next review. If I get to see Percy Jackson and the Olympians, I don't know if I will or not. I'm hoping I do because I am a huge history buff. I mean, a huge mythology buff. So I'm hoping that I can see that film when it comes out to the silver screen. And I'm also looking forward to Clash of the Titans. Duh. Um, but other than that, I probably won't be seeing a real movie in the cinema for a while. So please don't hate me for reviewing these DVDs that I borrowed from a friend. Um, but anyway, I will see you next time, and you can be guaranteed that I will do another review this coming weekend. Ciao!